Hello, welcome to episode 2 of our iTrent monthly update. Morning, Nathan.
Morning.
So this last month, just wanting to obviously just give you a picture of where we're sort of seeing things in the iTrent space just now, and what our findings are. Really, just keen to share that with you guys. On the consultancy side, we're kind of seeing, we're getting inquiries through, and our clients are they're sort of having to add an extra layer onto the process, if you like. So we're taking a brief and we're obviously understanding what the needs are, and then we're presenting the appropriate consultant. And usually at this sort of stage, obviously, an agreement is made and the consultant begins the work. Whereas there's now this extra layer where they're then having to present that to their seniors or to the board, and the client is having to almost go with our package solution once it's already all ready to go, and then almost get this final sign off. So obviously largely down to more stringent controls with budgets, and just that extra barrier to sort of invest in this sort of thing is becoming really quite evident and understandable, but somewhat frustrating as well. So we've seen that on a few occasions this month.
I think the biggest frustration more than anything else is the not knowing sometimes that is what they're going through, because then we're not able to necessarily consult and actually be consultants, give them the best advice, manage expectations on both sides, and help them with that, because fundamentally, that is part of our role, is to give that guidance as much as it is to help them place a candidate, is to let them know what is and isn't workable, what we can and can't do, what's going to help them out.
Yeah, we've been able to adapt, haven't we? We've been able to recognise that this is like the path that our clients are having to take, and we can jump on board with that process. It's just becoming and starting to understand that that's what it looks like just now. But obviously, we can allow for that time, because we're so specialist, and obviously we just cover specifically iTrent consultancy. So it's not that it doesn't work, it's something that we're recognizing, and it's something we're having to sort of adapt to, I suppose, with.
It's different. The sort of post-COVID experience is very much they're having to justify a lot more what they're having to spend and why. And I think to a certain extent, I think that's good, because it's keeping companies lean. But like you said, it does add that extra step in the process, and it does increase that time frame. And that's something we've got to be conscious of, obviously, when we're managing expectations on both sides.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, just something I suppose we wanted to bring to the table in what we're seeing. I suppose it moves on nicely, really, to what we're offering as a sort of as a result of that. We're sort of pushing our free consultancy day at the moment, partly due to that, to allow our clients, or existing as well, to take the opportunity or take advantage of an expert for the day.
I think, we've had a fantastic response in terms of this as well. And I think more than anything else, the recognition from us that this is a tough market, it is hard times for people. And I think offering this just gives companies that way to evaluate, what's happening without that additional cost. Having a consultant in for a day that can help analyze where they're at, what they need, and what it will cost going forward, it can be invaluable,
Yeah, and the fact that it's relevant just to highlight for now that we're actually not only for new customers, it's rolled out for existing customers till the end of October as well. So we're just wanting to, I suppose, put that out there. So if you're, not sure, or maybe just need a bit of I don't know, like almost an overview of the system, or just some support on something very specific, you could take advantage of this day and explore how a consultant could help you with it, or let them evaluate how how many hours, how many days you might need to get the job done. Some people are using it for that purpose as well. And then moving just into recruitment in general, the pandemic, what we're seeing is, because we operate in such a niche, it is a candidate shy market. So quite frankly, that hasn't really changed. Yes, there's not the volume of opportunities has diminished, but when our clients are looking for the skills we recruit, the scenario is very similar in the way that they're not necessarily getting the specific iTrent system skills, which is of course what we cover. So we're not seeing this kind of in a lot of sectors, I think, where there's like flooded with candidates. That's not what we're experiencing.
I think my sort of view in this at the moment is very similar in terms of what you're talking about there. I think there's a big compromise that companies are trying to make at the moment. And I think this is good in some ways, but I think could ultimately be quite hard for them in others as well. I think if they're in the position where they've got people in their businesses that they want to try and promote and they want to try and progress, then this is a fantastic time to try and do that. Utilize what you already have in the business if you're not able to pay for the skills that you're looking for the iTrent and get people from that. But it still stands that if prior to COVID you were looking for people that had 3-4 years experience because you needed that skill set, realistically, what has actually changed there other than the COVID side itself? And if you don't have people with that skill set, you're still going to have to invest the time in the training and the development. You're still going to have a cost implication within your business for not having that skill. And fundamentally, I think that's going to have a bigger impact overall. For trying to save a little now, you're actually costing yourself more in the long run. So I think it's going to be one of those things that companies have to weigh up. It is something I would seriously suggest people looking at as a longer term prospect and not just a financial tag for the now. I think it's the business impact overall, because like you said, it is a niche skill set and it is a candidate shy market, and that hasn't gone away.
No, and that's interesting. And obviously that's a positive for us in some ways, in that that those facts are not, they haven't sort of changed because of what everyone's going through. So overall it's challenging, I think, for so many, and I think it's important just to acknowledge that and go, it's pretty tough in the recruitment market now for a lot of people, and we don't fall outside of that, but it's you just gotta I think stick to, for us, which is all about sort of sticking to what we know, what we're good at, and what we can deliver on, and knowing that that's gonna see us through it, really, and having the ability to adapt as well, and not be too rigid, and really listen to our clients' concerns, and the way, like we've referred to already, the way they're having to alter some of their process and to make it work, really.
Yeah, and that being said, from the candidate perspective as well, I'm and I know you are as well, still really keen to hear from people that are out there in the market that have those iTrent skills. It is a candidate shy market. Most of the candidates I represent, and I know you're the same, Liz, they are passive in the market. They're not people that would actively be looking. A lot of this is about opportunity and choice. So I would always say to people, if you've got anything in there, any concerns, hesitations, you're just curious about the market, reach out, have a conversation,
absolutely.
And do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I think we've waffled on enough today. So yeah, it's good. As I say, it's just all about trying to invite you into to our company, really, what we're about, what we're finding month by month, and just to share that with you guys, really. So thanks a lot.
See you all in November.
Yeah.